What would you like to hear? You want to hear a story?
I just don't want you to sing because that'll really mess up.
That's very true.
I'm good.
Messed up my wife too. I was amazed, and I'll tell you this story because I thought it was really entertaining and made me feel really good over Christmas. We were watching Andrea Bocelli. Had a little special that he did for Christmas, which was really cool. Got to see his daughter sing. I mean, 12-year-old daughter of a legend. She obviously is terrible. Has no voice, no talent. Yeah. It was sad, really.
Yeah.
So we're watching this, and my wife's sitting there, my kids, and the prayer comes on, and he sang it with Jennifer Hudson. And that is not a song that Jennifer Hudson ever needs to do, which I never thought that I would say. But it's not.
Yeah.
But Andrea Bocelli, well, he could sing the phone book and everybody would listen. Mm-hmm. So Bocelli's singing, and I remember a little bit of the Italian portion of the song from having done it a couple of times. And so I'm sitting there and I'm kind of humming it, and then I kind of got into it. And the more it went, the more I got into it. And we got finished. And by we, I mean me and Jennifer Hudson. And so we finished the duet, and my daughter jumps up, Dennis. It was beautiful. My daughter jumps up and is clapping, and I'm going, okay, Daddy still got it.
Yeah.
All right. And and she goes, oh, my gosh, Daddy, why were you not a professional singer? And before I could answer, before I had a chance to answer the actual question, my wife, who I adore, jumps up as soon as the question was asked and goes, Wendy, it takes a whole lot more than just, having an okay voice and being able to wheel out a little Italian from time to time. There's a lot more that goes into singing than just starts going down the line. You've got to look a certain way. You've got to sing a certain style. You got to be all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there on the couch listening to my wife rail on me. And finally, she takes a breath, which it felt like about 30 minutes. I'm sure it was only 5
it's a
to
wife.
15. And so she finishes railing on me, and I looked over at my daughter, who was now heartbroken, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
At least that's my story. Yeah. And since Amy's not here, I'm telling it. And so we start this, and I looked at Wendy, and I said, Wendy, well, sweetheart, what Mommy is trying to say is that, well, Daddy is actually a talentless hack, and so he has no business.
Loosely translated, that's right.
No business really doing anything other than just turning on the radio, and that's where his music ability stops. And you know what I meant? I said yes, without looking at her, and I'm still looking at my daughter. I went, yes, I know exactly what she meant. Daddy is once again a talentless hack, and so that was how I started my Christmas, and. Depression is real.
Yep. And what happened is your daughter put you up on a white horse, and your wife knocked your ass right off.
God, white horse, shoot, turned that sucker into glue.
Wives have a wonderful ability to do that to us.
They're amazing. They're amazing. Yeah. And my wife has told me many a time that I hear sweet things said to me a lot. So it's her job when I get home to tear me down. And I was like, well, I didn't read that in my Bible. I thought that we were to build each other, lift each other up. And she assured me that was not the case.
No, that was not.
And I was like, well, okay. I didn't know God was wrong, but I learned things every day, Dennis.
Oh, yeah. Well, as you know, I did have a music career that lasted 52 years. And one time, about 50 years in, my son asked me, he said, Dad, why did you not ever have a musical career? That went over like a fart in church.
Well, that's excellent. I'm glad that both of us are on the same page.
Family is there to keep us humble.
Sure.
And they do a real good job of it.
Sure. That's what they're there for. Okay. I missed that one in school too. That child and family studies class I took, they didn't lay that out.
Oh. Well, for those of you who are listening to this, I will tell you that our special guest, and I do mean special, this guy rode the short bus. He is very special. This is Chris Whaley. Chris is known far and wide in the cigar world. He is a dear friend of mine and has been for well over 10 years. And we just are so glad to have him here because this man knows more about cigars than I will ever be able to learn.
No.
He's forgotten more than I can learn. But we do thank Chris for being here, and we're just going to talk about some subjects, some of which might have to do with Holy Smoke cigars.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Chris, let me ask you a question first.
Please do.
You've been part of Holy Smoke ever since we started.
Yes.
And I will tell the crowd when the idea first came up with to me and a group of my friends who thought about doing a cigar lounge, Chris was the first phone call that I made.
We spoke a lot.
We had a couple of meetings with my business partners, and we talked about, okay, are we going to do this? Can we do it? Can we pull it off? And I called Chris Whaley to ask him his opinion. And not only was he very quick to say, yes, I think you can do it, I think you should, but his support has been absolutely invaluable ever since day one, and that's been almost 4 years ago. And I just want to say thank you. You've been a big part of this.
I appreciate that, Dennis. Hey, you all mean the world to me. You all know how much I love you, how much I love the shop. I lied to you 4 years ago. I'll lie to you again. So
it's all I would
it's a great
expect.
idea. I needed to hit numbers.
Yeah.
And when I so it had been laid out, and I was like, man, where am I going to come up with an extra 25,000? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a sucker born every minute.
Wait a minute. And I was born in a minute.
We're only like 12 of you. No, I did. Thank you all so much. Like again, you all have been family for forever, and always will be. And it's just been absolute pleasure to be involved in the shop and have as much to do with it as I've been able to. And man, I could not think of any better place, any better people. I think the world of you all.
Well, we do appreciate it. We really do, and it's always a great pleasure for us and our regular customers when you show up.
Oh.
You've got Chris has several names around here.
Some of them, most of them can't be repeated.
Crazy Pants is one name. Crazy Guy is another. And there are some that I won't mention because I would like for people to actually see this online at some point. But I've got a question for you, Chris, and I can sit here and extol the virtues of Holy Smoke all day long because I'm one of the owners. But tell me, in your opinion, what makes Holy Smoke special to you? Why do you think this shop works?
So one of the things, and I've been a part of one or two shops, and one of the things that always made mine so special, the ones that I was a part of, was that we weren't, there wasn't a business transaction that was made every time that somebody came walking through the door.
Right.
When the guys came through the door, and the term's been blown away by now. It's been used so many times. But yeah, I'll beat the dead horse. It was cheers, right? Because everybody knows your name. And so you come in, and there's that feeling of home and family. And my shops that I was a part of, my gosh, these are the guys that I spent Thanksgiving with and Christmas with, played golf with. My kids knew them, called them uncle. That's what we had in all of those, and it just made it so much fun because cigars are about community.
Yeah.
It's such a person-to-person thing, and such a relationship-oriented hobby.
Yeah.
And so it's no fun to smoke by yourself. It's way more fun to smoke with everybody else.
It is.
So that's what this place has recreated. From day one, Holy Smoke has been that place where it doesn't matter what's happened outside of the doors.
Right.
Because as soon as you break in here, well, it's all going to go away. You're going to have a good time. You're going to sit down amongst friends, not friends, but family, and just enjoy. We're going to laugh together. If you're hurting, we're going to cry together. And you all have been that. It's an amazing way of handling a business where, again, yeah, you're in it to make money, but the people are what make this place so special.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and that's what we have tried to do from day one. But I think it's largely because of people like you that have been here And again, I'm not just trying to blow smoke, pun intended, but I do really value your opinion, and I really think you know a lot about cigars. And it's not just the brand that he has represented, and now he's with a different company, so he's got other brands. Chris has not been that guy that just knows his brands. You know everything about everybody. It just amazes me.
I thank you.
I can ask Chris about a particular cigar that I've heard about, and he can tell me the year the tobacco was grown and how long it was aged and what the wrapper is and what the everything about the cigar. This guy knows it, and I don't know how you keep that much stuff in a brain as small as yours.
That's true. That's true. Well, Dennis, what a lot of people don't know is that I'm actually a really lonely individual. I spend a lot of time on the road and in hotel rooms by myself. And, I get bored talking to me a lot. And so I read everything. Yep. And I write it down. And tobacco's always been fun to me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because I'm hoping that Amy will watch this and take note of the fact that you spend a lot of time in hotel rooms by yourself.
Alone.
That was a good point.
Yes, a very key term.
Yeah.
I'm always offered 2 keys when I come walk out. Mr. Whaley, how many keys would you like, right? And I always tell them just one. My wife frowns on it when I have company. So I hope you're listening to this, Amy. And please hear both of those statements. That's every time, unless I'm with Dennis. It's only happened a couple times. But that was fun.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was experimenting.
Exactly. I mean, welcome back to college.
And the next time I kiss you, I hope you'll shave.
Well, I'm just saying. Look, dude, it took me 3 months to grow this much, and it still looks like a patchwork quilt.
Hey,
so we're hanging in there.
I know that
we're hanging in there.
We've got something else in common.
No, I fell in love with tobacco early, and I didn't. It's so strange. It's one of those, if it's worth doing right. Yep. And so I wanted to know as much as I could.
Yep.
And so rather than going in and just walking into a humidor and looking at a pretty band, which I've done. So is everybody else. Don't lie. So I mean, everybody's done it. But I wanted to know all that I could about it.
Yeah.
So give me any information that I can get a hold of before I actually smoke the cigar. And it was amazing. I was talking with Ernesto Perez Carrillo a handful of years ago, and he said that the most amazing thing about this industry now, as opposed to the boom in the 80s and 90s, the original boom, is the amount of information that we have access to.
Right.
And so you have it at the literally tip of a finger, because we've all got cell phones.
Yep.
And as soon as you pick it up, now the guy that comes walking through the door knows as much about the cigar that he's getting ready to smoke for the very first time as the guy that's standing behind the counter whose job it is to recommend it.
Right.
And so we've got to be every bit as smart as, and I say smart for lack of a better term, as the end consumer.
Yep.
Because how much does it behoove a company to have a guy like me is sitting there going, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's good. I guess somebody told me that it was. So that makes no sense whatsoever to me.
Right.
So I always wanted to be at the forefront of it, and at least have a little bit of something I could share with the consumer, and especially the story, because every cigar in the humidor has a story to tell. Every single one.
Yep. Well, you've always been so great at knowing those stories, and you've done countless events with us here at Holy Smoke.
We've had some good times.
And he's always so transparent and wide open with not only his knowledge, but Chris is also willing to listen to other people. And I've observed that. I've watched you when we're doing events, or when you're just here hanging out with the group of folks that we have.